For centuries, humanity has treated spiritual progress as a guessing game. We've locked concepts like salvation and heaven behind religious dogma and ancient traditions, treating them as mystical rewards granted only after death. Without a concrete map, we're left navigating entirely in the dark. We find ourselves trapped in what's known as duality, a constant, exhausting tug-of-war between opposing forces, pushing and pulling us through our daily lives. But we are beginning to understand that spiritual advancement is an actual, measurable, energetic mechanic. It is a precise process you can plot, track, and achieve right now while you are alive. To escape the friction of human suffering, we have to stop treating consciousness as an unknowable religious mystery and start looking at it as a navigable architecture. This illustrates a foundational law. The universe is not inert matter producing consciousness. It is consciousness itself taking the appearance of matter. Because it's built on precise energy mechanics, human experience isn't random. It can be plotted on a geometric grid. This chart is the unified cartography of consciousness, mapping our internal states. On the left is the Hawkins scale, a vertical axis measuring frequency, and in the center are the structural mechanics of reality. Spiritual progress is simply a path upwards along this scale. If heaven and hell are actual states of consciousness located on a frequency map, we don't have to wait to find them. We finally possess the exact coordinates to navigate from one to the other. This section of the chart highlights the lowest, most painful human emotional states, like shame, guilt, and fear. Look at the wide, chaotic waveforms at the bottom. This table details the primary impulses of creation. On the left, you see the negative, contractive, feminine mechanics. On the right, the positive, expansive, masculine mechanics. At those low frequencies, these two impulses are in extreme opposition. When these two energy streams are pushed far away from the central axis, they crash and slam against one another. That massive distance between the opposing wave mechanics is the literal, physical definition of duality. Human suffering is the mechanical friction generated when our internal energy is radically separated from unity. It is an energetic clash, not a cosmic punishment. This part of the graph tracks what happens as we move up the vertical axis. Right at the 200 mark on the Hawkins scale, the gradient shifts to yellow. This is the threshold of courage. As the frequency of consciousness rises past this point, a specific mechanical shift occurs. The opposing waves shrink in amplitude. They stop swinging so violently and draw closer to the center line. This diagram traces that exact ascent. As the blue and gold waves pull inward, they stop opposing each other and weave tightly along that central dashed line. That tightening is the literal collapsing of the painful friction of duality. Continue the ascent into higher states, reason, love, and peace, and the chaotic push and pull ceases entirely. The energy harmonizes. Advancing spiritually is the deliberate act of raising your frequency to mathematically eliminate the friction of existence. Here, in the map's center, opposing forces finally harmonize. They form a unified infinity loop, a lemniscate. The exact intersection of these blue and gold loops is the here-now singularity, a perfect, frictionless equilibrium where neither force overpowers the other. This diagram illustrates the geometry of the human vessel. We act as an hourglass, sitting precisely at that central structural crossing point, breathing the infinite potential of the universe into form. True presence and power emerge when we stop riding the chaotic loops of past and future. We find them by anchoring ourselves in the frictionless center of the present moment. This section at the very apex of the map corresponds to enlightenment, the highest possible frequencies on the scale. In this ultimate state, the oscillating waves dissolve entirely. They become a shimmering, frictionless field of self-aware, intelligent coherence. It moves fluidly, like a murmuration of starlings in a dark sky. When we look back down this central zero-state axis, the picture becomes clear. Heaven is not a physical destination waiting for us at the end of time. It is this exact, accessible condition of zero duality. Choosing unconditional love, unity, and inclusion is a specific mechanical action that raises our frequency and aligns us with this cosmic coherence. The path out of suffering is a mapped, measurable ascent. The power of spiritual evolution and ultimate harmonization rests entirely in our own hands.